Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Drug Court. I'm Judge Martin. Can you guys hear me okay? All good? Good, thank you. All right, 1 second, I've got to log on my second computer. Okay, all right, well, I wanted to start out, let's see, today I think Ms. Lewis might be the only one that I have who's on today's docket who was able to join us this weekend for the half marathon. Ms. Lewis, it looks like you're in a cloud.
My camera's shattered.
Oh, it's shattered.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I mean, and it's not that the brightness or the light or anything like that. It's my actual camera is. I understand it's really cloudy or foggy. I don't have groups Monday anymore, so I didn't know. You know, it could have happened over the weekend sometime. But last time I had group, it wasn't like this.
Okay.
Should I turn my camera off or?
No, I can see you. I just was wanting to make sure your house wasn't on fire.
No, it's okay. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll get it fixed.
No worries. No worries. I just, like I said, I had a few folks that were able to join for the half marathon. I think from today's docket, you're the only one who was able to be with us Sunday morning. But I
Yes.
plan to make an announcement to everybody that I see this week and next week, just in general, to say thank you for being there and for showing up and representing. I got great reports, especially on my ladies, as far as solid behavior. You did drug court proud, made yourselves proud, and worked really hard. So I want to thank you for coming out. I'm going to get back to you, Ms. Lewis, in just a moment, because I've got Ms. Robles in the fourth phase, who I'll call first. But
Okay.
one other announcement, I'll talk about that when I talk to Ms. Lewis. One other general announcement I wanted to make. You all will recall that I was talking before the holidays about a new handbook. Hopefully everybody has gotten that. I think Ms. LaBeouf is actually already under the new handbook, so this doesn't apply to you. But the rest of you hopefully have gotten a copy of the new one, given it a look. It may be, like I said, a little bit hard to even tell the difference. It is not a radical change from what we were doing, but some tweaks. And really, the big things for me were, I think it's more clear about what the boundaries are, what our expectations are, and it gives treatment a lot more power to be flexible and adjust what you guys are doing with them according to what they, in their expert opinion, think is necessary. The next step in sort of wrapping that up is treatment's going to be presenting you with a form. It's a form that we've developed to memorialize who has opted in. Those of you who pled in under the old handbook, if you're agreeable to it, you'll sign the form to indicate, okay, from this point forward, I agree to be bound by the new handbook. If you don't wish to do that, that's okay too. But I'm going to, between now and the end of January, I'm going to look for a final answer, either thumbs up or thumbs down, from each active member of drug court, and then we'll have that memorialized. If you have questions, if you looked at it before the holidays and you were worried about something but you never followed through, if you are with the Public Defender's Office, Ms. Burrows is going to have a cover sheet when she for DLC when they pass these out to you guys next week. That just refers you to the Public Defender's Office with any questions. If you had private counsel, you would need to circle back with your private counsel to just let them know, hey, the judge is asking me if I want to sign this or not. If you sign it, then, like I said, all that really does is ensure that we're going to track the new handbook for you. If you don't sign it, we're going to track the old handbook for you. And over the course of the next several months, we'll end up with a court with everybody in the new handbook. But it's my hope, like I said, that you'll read it and agree it is an improvement over the old one. And I'm hopeful most people will feel good about opting in. But if not, no worries, entirely up to you. So that's it for my announcements. Let me check in with Ms. Robles.
Hello.
How you doing, Ms. Robles?
I'm doing good.
Better than last time we spoke.
Yeah, better than last time we spoke. Kids will be going back to school tomorrow.
Okay. Everybody's doing okay? I know the tests are negative, but is everybody doing okay?
Well, I don't know if it's because of the weather change. They still like have sniffles and runny noses and stuff like that. But other than that, everybody's good.
Okay. And are they going to go back in person or virtually?
In person.
Okay. All right. But nobody's got fevers or any of that kind of stuff?
No.
All right, good. And I think our weather's going to change yet again this week. I didn't follow up to find out what exactly is coming our way. All right. And so talk to me about what you're working on, where your focus is this week.
So my focus is I'm meeting up with my sponsor. I wanted to meet up with her tomorrow because it's, the kids are finally going back and I have, a day to be alone. I am kind of like, I've had the kids now. So I'm kind of like, I wanted to meet with my sponsor right away, but she has an appointment tomorrow. So we're meeting up on Thursday.
Okay.
We'll go over the 4 steps, start the 5th step. Yeah, and just I want to go just kind of like be alone for a little bit without any kids.
You have had major overtime these last few weeks, right?
Yeah.
And so what about work? You've had to be away from it, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I actually start Friday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, I start Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I go right back into work Friday, Saturday. I think I have Saturday off. I work Friday, I'm off Saturday, I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So I'm going right back into like full time.
And that's at Foxborough?
No, I actually am not working at Foxborough because it was too slow. I'm working
Okay.
I'm working at a place called Riptide.
You're over at Riptide?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you had mentioned that you might have left Foxborough, but I don't think I had you tell me where you ended up. So, and are you elsewhere as well, or are you down to one job at this point over at Riptide?
Yeah, I'm down to just one job right now.
Okay. And how did you get through? I know you had a real hit to your income with having to take this major time out. Were you able to navigate that okay? I don't mean to be too nosy. I just want to make sure you're doing okay.
Well, to be completely honest, I haven't been able to pay my car insurance. So that's the only thing. I was able to pay all of my tickets because that was like, for me, that was a priority. I know insurance will give you a little bit of a leeway. So I paid my tickets. That keeps my license active, and I paid my probation. But my insurance, because of my tickets, is $350, and I just don't have that right now.
Okay.
I did ask I had to unfortunately like reach out to my family and ask for some money. So I'm actually gonna do all of that tomorrow. I actually had to go to both of my sisters because I didn't want to give one sister a $350 burden. So I kind of asked both of my sisters to split it, and they both said they would. So I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm going to go pick up the money. I'm paying my insurance. And that way I'll have that paid up. So that was the only thing I wasn't able to pay because my stimulus check came right in time to pay my rent. So my rent was paid. The only thing that wasn't paid was my car insurance.
Okay. Well, I know that's really stressful, and thank God for family, right? It sounds like you were able to do that. Of course, I know the domino effect. If you don't have the car insurance and they suspend your license, and then they'll hit you for a fee to reinstate it. And so It sounds like you hopefully are keeping everything together over there. I know it's not easy.
Yeah, that was the only thing I wasn't able to pay off. Luckily, I had a little bit of money in my savings, so I was, like I said, I was able to pay probation, and I was able to pay my tickets, which I've only got 3 tickets left out of like the 7 that I had when you were able to get them out of collection and start me a payment plan. I had 7 tickets, and I think I'm down to 3 or 4 tickets.
Okay.
So I'm almost done paying off all my tickets. Probation is going to take a little bit longer because I think it was $1,900, and I'm on a $100 payment plan every month.
Okay.
So that, and if I can pay more, I will. But right now, the minimum is $100 that I'm paying a month on probation. Okay.
And we pushed your that probation case that we're keeping open. Your next court date's March 4. We pushed that out last week. I have no sense of time. 10 days ago, we had a court date, but I didn't need you to be there, and we just pushed it out to give you more time. As I understand, you're getting the domestic violence classes completed here fairly soon, and then it's just,
I think I should be almost done with those. I might have maybe 4 weeks left, but I started those back in I want to say September, October, November, December, January. So I think I started those 5 months ago or 4 months ago. So okay. I might have maybe a month or 2 more of that.
That's what Jason shared with us, a status report January 7 that said you had something like 22 out of 29 complete. So that sounds about right. So good. So you keep chipping away at it. I say this often. We obviously want you to finish it off, but we don't want to put you or your family in a bad spot. So continue to do the best that you reasonably can. And obviously, you know, having to take what was it, about a 2 or 3 week complete shutdown for your household is, you know, that's something that obviously we have to take into consideration. So don't panic, but just continue to do what you can. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Are you getting enough hours and everything? I guess you don't know yet. You're just getting started back at Riptide this weekend.
Yeah, they were giving me, I think that they gave me 5 days for my next schedule, 4 or 5 days. Even though they're short shifts, they're like 5-hour shifts. So, but it should be like 30, almost full time, not 40 hours, but maybe like 30.
Okay, good. Well, hopefully it'll you know, improve over what you were, you know, experiencing at the last place at Foxborough there. Hopefully this will be a better deal.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be better because she's paying me hourly too, which is better because right now with all the restaurants being so slow, the tips aren't really good. So just having the backup of the hourly is always nice. Okay, good. Well, anything that we can be doing to help, Ms. Robles? Anything you need from us? No, everything is good. Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad that you're on the upswing here with your household and your family. Hopefully things go well. Don't hesitate to ask for help if you need anything. Okay. Absolutely. Thank you. Okay. And you're phase 4, so you can drop off if you'd like. Have a good one. You too. Okay. And let me check in next with Ms. Ramsey.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon.
How are you doing, Ms. Ramsey?
I'm good.
Tell me what's been going on for you.
Not much really. Same old. I've been getting a lot done in terms of like I enrolled in my post-licensing course I need to take by the 31st of March for my renewal of my real estate license.
Okay.
So it's a 45-hour mandatory course. So I'm starting that as of last night. And just working, nothing dramatic over here at all. Enrolling, registering my daughter for school for next year. It's coming much faster than I thought.
Yeah.
It's a lot of legwork and paperwork and uploading documents and immunizations and blah, 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 utility bill. It's a lot for your first registration, you know? So I've been spending a lot of time doing that legwork, making a file for her going forward.
Okay.
You know, doing my meetings mostly virtually. Smart Recovery and AA, both. They go back and forth. I'm kind of leaning more towards the Smart Recovery, actually, in terms of keeping me engaged. And
can you tell me why? I'm less familiar with it. Tell me what you like about it.
It's more like of a scientific approach. It's kind of more, it almost is like even though it's a group and a group discussion, they do things like graphs and teach you stuff. And it's kind of like almost like a therapy, like in a sense, more so than like a rigid kind of, I don't want to use the word religion. It's not a step thing. It's more like a, I guess the best way I can say is it's a little more scientific and a little more therapy-ish.
Okay. Does it still have a element or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, James printed me out a whole, it's a whole book, handbook.
Okay.
And I'm working on some of the pages with Brooke. And, you know, it's just kind of explores like, your usage history and, why, your pros and cons and a lot of CBT therapy, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half. It's a little longer of a group.
Okay.
But it's kind of, I feel like it's more of like a class with a discussion.
Okay. That's great. And that helps me because I know, especially James gets a lot of credit for bringing Smart Recovery to drug court and really actively offering that as another pathway for folks to explore. And so I'm still learning, but I really enjoy getting the feedback from folks who've checked it out. Generally speaking, everybody who's bothered to check it out has really managed to benefit from it. Whether or not they ended up making that kind of their primary fellowship, they really have. Pretty much everybody tells me they get a lot of good stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking as you were talking about enrolling your daughter, it kind of makes you wonder, right? I mean, you're an incredibly intelligent person who's organized and got it together. It makes you wonder how some folks are going to ever manage to get their kids enrolled, right?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it really is. Like, I mean, a lot of things I realized, not just that, but things like, I mean, as simple that you think are simple to enroll in, whether it's unemployment, whether it's, I don't know, just keeping everything above board, now that everything's kind of electronic and uploads and, PDFs and, proof of this, proof of that, it's a lot. And if you're not organized and you're not on the ball, you miss one thing, there's not really many people notifying you. So you gotta
plenty of other kids to worry about, right?
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's a good feeling when it's done, of accomplishment.
Yeah. Well, and part of the reason I pointed that out is I think it's I think it's sort of a good point of gratitude that, hey, you're fortunate you've got the equipment, the know-how and so forth to navigate that, even though it was a bit of a headache for you. That's one of those moments where you can say, well, at least I'm me. At least I've got, these things going for me. That's a real point of gratitude.
Yeah, it was like I had to go down on Friday. Was it Friday? I knew it was a holiday weekend because I'm doing an early enrollment to try to get her in a certain school. And so I had to pick up her immunizations, which they will not email to you. You have to go to the actual doctors and pick them up. It's a legal thing, I guess, a HIPAA thing. Okay. So the lady at like late Friday afternoon was like, the doctor, you can come in and pick them up now. And I wanted to get it in by Monday, uploaded. And I thought for a second, I'm like, imagine if I had been drinking, I wouldn't be able to drive all the way up to Immokalee
Yep.
Go to the doctor's office, walk in there breathing fumes. Like it's like I could do these things without batting an eyelash. I'm just like, okay, I'm on my way.
Yeah. Yep. That is a huge, huge, huge deal. And you've got a vehicle and a license and all of these things that, we're serving folks that are in all different phases of their journey. I've had the privilege of working with some women in recovery that, man, you didn't have to go back that far to where they would have been drunk and they would have driven. Right. And I mean, it just, wow. So it's really cool to be able to take that little split second inventory, isn't it?
Yeah, it was great. She's like, here I come, it was great.
Yeah, problem solved. Well, and I think that's really critical. I know I kind of bang that drum a lot, but your ability to just kind of perceive the little hidden gratitudes in life's daily challenges, that's a skill that will really serve you well long after we're out of your way and you're just running the show, because otherwise, you can really get swamped by all of those challenges that are coming at you someday. So good for you.
Thank you.
So anything that you wanted to address with us? Anything in particular that's going on?
No.
And you're doing okay as far as, are you doing more group work with DLC or individual, or is it a mix of both for you right now?
It's a mix of both. I think I'm going to drop down at one group after I phase in a few weeks, but right now I'm doing 2 groups and 1 individual.
Okay.
A week. Yeah.
And so how's that routine with work and childcare and everything treatment has you doing? How's everything fitting together these days for you?
Good. It actually fit together much, in the beginning we're all like freaked out, like, how am I going to do all this? But it's actually become quite a good routine. Thank God for her daycare. It's right down the street. So by the time I get her there, I make it back in time for group. Okay. I have the house to myself, and my boss has been completely understanding. I don't know how much he knows, he gets it, but understanding about the 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that I need for now. He's been good about that. So the only hurdle I run into every now and then, which, I tell myself, take your own advice and don't future trip, is, if I get a UA and I have to be at work. But I found a way to figure it out on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
So.
Okay, good. And I think you're exactly right there, that there's a little bit of looking ahead that's healthy, and you can overdo that if you go too far. But I do preach a lot about just kind of being preventive in thinking ahead a little bit about, something that you need to be keeping an eye on. I think what you've just described is very much within the healthy limits there of, okay, this is working great. This is a potential curveball. I'll just kind of keep an eye on it without letting it dominate your thinking or take you out of the game.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. Excellent. Well, Ms. Ramsey, I'm thrilled that things are going along well for you. And this is the part where things are going great, and you just have to watch out for getting too comfortable, and you have to watch out for forgetting how to ask for help if something comes up. So keep those thoughts in mind, okay?
Yes.
Good. Keep up the good work. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay. I have so many notes on my sheet. Forgive me for being a little bit slow here today. All right. Ms. Lewis, let me circle back with you.
Okay. Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. Talk to me a little bit about your experience on Sunday, what that was like, what you guys did, and so forth at the race.
We went around and we had rubber sticks and picked up trash, and then kind of like straightened, not that there was much to straighten up, but kind of made sure everything was how it should have been, and as if none of the runners had been there, so right. We did get a lot of people that stopped and thanked us for doing what we were doing. And I had somebody say that they think it was all the runners from the East Coast, because people that were throwing their masks down, people that are from Naples wouldn't have just kind of trashed the area,
yeah.
But, people were really ecstatic we were helping,
yeah.
And, it feels good. We didn't mind at all. It was kind of like, I don't know if that we all particularly wanted to be there at the moment, but we definitely were happy, you know, and very grateful that by the time we left, I got to take some bananas and fruit
Okay.
and stuff back to St. Matt's.
Okay.
So I got to feed some of my people, and you know, it was good. It was good.
Good. Yeah, I think, you know, and I appreciate your point. Sometimes, especially when you kind of get started on something like that, I can promise you, I had a couple of thoughts when my alarm went off at 5 a.m. to go out into the cold and the dark and start working. But when you're with a group, y'all kind of energize each other, and it's fun because you're working on something that's positive and community based. You guys were really an important part of a big operation there.
Yeah, no, and it was like you know, it made me think of even like recovery, you know, like staying clean and, you know, cleaning up. So it was kind of symbolic, I guess, you know. It was nice. And, you know, the women have good camaraderie, so we had a good time, you know.
Yeah, and huge props to Nikki and Brooke for showing up on a weekend to be a part of that with you guys. And I think, you know, they bring a lot of really good positive energy and set a nice tone, and then everybody just has a good time with it. That's
absolutely great. They're great.
Yeah. You know, the old drug court T-shirts used to say on the back, "Keeping it clean," because
yeah.
we were always cleaning everything up, and you're right. That's a purposeful metaphor for what you guys are working on.
Yeah.
So were you over on Fifth Avenue or in the park or all around?
All around. We ended, well, I was gonna say we started in the park. We took the trash for the food tables, took all the boxes of bananas and such. We started there and then kind of circled back around.
Okay, good. Well, like I said, I got good reports on everyone, that everybody did a nice job, brought a good attitude, worked hard, and so forth. So I'm excited that you were able to do that and be a part of it. And I did promise that there would be the 2 weeks incentive on your next phase, and I'm trying to remember. I think you phased to 2 a little bit ago. So keep doing what you're doing. You got to stay on in good standing, but you're on track, and just keep up the good work in that regard. Okay. And the community service work that I had you do a few weeks back, you got that all completed and turned in all right?
I did.
And where'd you end up doing the work?
At the warehouse.
Warehouse, what's that?
St. Matthews.
Oh, okay.
It's in the industrial park. It's they make the boxes for donations, like food donations.
Okay.
It was cool. It was nice. And then because I work at Lulu's, which, you know, I love Lulu's. I get to go grocery shopping at the warehouse. I can go in on the Fridays that I don't get paid. I can go in and pick out groceries because I work for St. Matthews. And it's not even that my mom's house is full of food, and she keeps telling me every time she picks me up from somewhere, I got a box of food. She's like, stop bringing food. I'm like, well, I can't not take the food. And I mean, I just have a bunch of green olives and black olives and all types of stuff because I love olives. So I got 15 cans of olives for whatever reason.
That makes more pizza.
Yeah. And then banana peppers and just kind of the condiments because we have enough food, but just I got a bunch of grilled vegetables from there. And they said because I work at Lulu's, like I said, the Fridays I don't get paid, I can come in and get a bag of groceries.
Okay.
But I can't have food at St. Matt, so I take it to my mom. I
got you. Well, don't take more than you need, but if there is something that you can use, then that certainly makes sense.
Yeah.
Good. And you said that Lulu's is a good fit for you.
Yes, it is. And even the warehouse, when I was at the warehouse, they were trying to hire me.
Okay.
Because when people come and either do waiver work or community service, I guess they just stay on their phones and kind of just meander and don't really do any work. When I'm there to work, I work.
Yeah.
I stay focused, and I like to get stuff moving. If no, you know, I'm usually the one to start a project or definitely finish it. You know, I like to keep things going. And I told him, give me the stuff that nobody wants to go through, and I will go through it, because that's just the tedious things that nobody likes to do. I always excel at.
Awesome.
So it was a factory of a bunch of guys, so I did all the baking goods.
Okay.
So I went through and, you know, did all that. So they were like, are you working? You know, and that's when I mentioned Lulu's, and that's when they told me about the food. But yeah, they wanted to hire me because, and I can't pay rent at Lulu's anymore, like do waiver work at Lulu's, because I work there. I have it set up to where next week I can go to the warehouse.
Okay.
Because there's a conflict because I get paid at Lulu's, there's a conflict of doing community service, and, you know, so that's why the warehouse was the better spot for the community service, and then to start my waiver work.
Sure.
So I'm not behind on any of my fees or anything. I've paid up all my fees, and there's been about 4 or 5 weeks now I haven't been able to do waiver work, but like I said, I'm still in good standings with them. And they did move me into I have like a key card entry to get into, you know, St. Matt's now, and it's a room with me and 2 other girls. So it's kind of more of an actual little room. It's not the big dorm, you know, with a bunch of different bunk beds. So it's nice. I have dresser drawers now. Still not a closet, but that's okay.
It's an improvement.
I'm just content there. I didn't think that I would be as happy as I am there. I feel like they actually care for you. Just like David Lawrence, the case managers and the therapists, they all love you and they all want to help you. And you feel that, you know, I don't feel like, you know, if I was using it'd be a completely different story. It would be like, what do these people want, and why are they always all around, and, you know, how can I get away with whatever I'm trying to get away with? But now that I'm not, I like the transparency that I have now, just to be able to, you know, they walk into my life and I can say hi to them, and I can look them in the eyes, and I can talk to them, and I can be sincere, not just try to hide whatever I'm doing, kind of getting a little bit more integrity back, you know?
And it comes back as your head starts to clear, you get used to the routine and all the obligations and so forth. And I think the attitude you talked about when you step up to do community service, you know, if you continue to bring that attitude with you every time you step into a job or a treatment session or whatever life is having you do, good things are going to happen, and people respond to that attitude very, very quickly and very favorably. So that's a direct result of what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think too, you know, your perspective on St. Matt's, you know, when you come out of the jail, you can appreciate St. Matt's. And when you spend a couple of months in the dorm at St. Matt's, you can appreciate a room, even if it's got 2 other roommates and no closet. And you're just, you know, you're gradually improving what you have to work with. And if you keep that, forgive the phrase, but you keep that attitude of gratitude, you keep that focus not on what you don't have, but on what you do have, then it really can be a pretty wonderful walk, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and I hear from treatment that the job change seems to have really helped with some of the chaos and disorganization that was tripping you up before. Now that you're working days and you've got a good schedule, treatment was reporting that you're much more consistent.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Siri does that to me like 10 times a day. That you really have achieved better consistency, and you're really on time and so forth. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. We were really hopeful that was more just a part of the getting adjusted phase, and not you know, anything more serious, that it was something that you could correct and bring under control. So I was really pleased to get that positive report from treatment today.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. Anything that you want to address with us, Ms. Lewis?
No.
Okay. Well, like I said, keep it up, and I will be excited when the time comes to award that incentive and hopefully push you forward in the program a little bit early.
Okay. Thank you.
Great job. And then Ms. LaBeouf, thank you for your patience. How are you doing today, Ms. LaBeouf?
I am doing better than last week. How are you?
Good. Tell me what was going on last week and what's better now.
I just got a little bit more closure with it. I'm still trying to get into the shelter.
Okay.
That's not going very far. Every time I contact them, they're either in a meeting or they're occupied. So they tell me to call back. My DCF case manager or Camelot case manager is also trying to get me in. They're not very responsive to her either.
Okay.
In order to get my kids unsupervised and then go to overnights, I have to have somewhere I can bring them.
Okay.
My current living situation, I'm not allowed to have them there.
Okay.
So that's been really difficult trying to, move around that.
Okay. How have you been doing with the things that we're asking you to do for drug court?
So far so good. Last week, on Wednesday, So Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I have IOP.
Okay.
In the morning time from 8:30 to 11:30. And then when I have the drug test on those days, I was told that we could go after IOP. And I guess Wednesday, I didn't know everybody there was busy and my communication hasn't been that great with them. So when I got there, I was told that nobody could help me right then, that I would have to come back. Wednesday was also my first day at my new job to train. And I had to be there at a certain time and then I wouldn't be able to come back. And especially with me not having the funds to Uber and this and that, because I was not, able to work that much, I couldn't afford the Ubers. So I didn't mean to step out of my character, but I did a little bit, and I do owe Brooke an apology. I didn't mean to come across like a jackass. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But my thing was, I spent my money to Uber there, and I couldn't go anywhere. I had to wait. So I was gonna sit there and wait until somebody could.
Okay.
But I don't think it came across like that because I was so, upset and emotional like I am now. I'm
Okay.
And then Friday, I also had IOP from 8:30 to 11:30. And after IOP, I was walking to David Lawrence, but I was all the way down by Airport Road. At the beginning of Airport by the courthouse.
Okay.
And I was walking to the horseshoe office so I could test. I wasn't sure of the cutoff time because I didn't have my papers or anything with me. And by the time I thought about texting or calling to ask what time, it was already too late.
Did you walk from main campus David Lawrence to Horseshoe David Lawrence?
No, I was walking from over near where the courthouse is to the horseshoe.
Wait, I thought you had finished IOP. How'd you end up by the courthouse?
No, I was at my friend's house using my laptop, and it's at the very beginning of Airport by, I think it's 41.
Okay.
East Tamiami Trail.
Okay.
And I was walking.
You had IOP until 11:30 that morning.
Yeah. So I started walking from my friend's house to the office to test.
I missed the window.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I guess let me ask what might be a dumb question. Why not finish on Friday when you finished IOP? Why not go straight over to DLC to get the test done?
I was walking straight after.
Well, no, because you got from IOP to your friend's house. Why did you go?
Did IOP at my friend's house.
Oh, you did IOP from?
Yeah, I had brought my laptop with me because it was closer than where I lived.
Okay, I got it. So IOP is virtual. You can do that from anywhere.
Correct.
Okay, but you needed to get from
my friend's house
Horseshoe.
to test.
Okay. And so you just missed the window there.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, so, and I may have some other questions, but this is information that helps me. You know, we've got a few different issues, and you hit on one of the ones that's most important to me, which is attitude. And I appreciate your expression of remorse here, like, hey, I owe Brooke an apology. And you do, and I'm going to ask you to reach out to her to do that directly, because she's not on the call at the moment. And that's really between you and Brooke, but I appreciate you following through on that. David Lawrence, they've got pretty thick skin and they're pretty good sports, but at the end of the day, it isn't part of their job to play catch with everybody else's blowback and frustration. So, you know, I know an apology, a sincere one, will go a long way, and you know, Brooke's going to be happy to keep working with you. Some of what you've described, we understand, is kind of par for the course when you're newly clean. You might find that your fuse is short and your moods swing left and right really quickly, and you break down crying where you normally wouldn't have, you know, found that
Like
happen.
now.
So, and your whole team is trained on this. So we, to a certain extent, we know what we're dealing with, and we know that this is normal. Also, we want to help you, you know, work through that in a constructive way and move past that as quickly as possible. So we want to get things on track with you. So we talked about a few things as a team, and I really kind of want to get the sense of what you think you can do differently, what you think you can adjust so that this doesn't happen again. And I have to say, while I might personally be most upset about some of the attitude stuff, really as a program, we have to be most concerned with the fact that you ultimately missed a test on Friday. And I've got to figure out, you know, one, what's an appropriate consequence for that? But two, how can you figure out a way to ensure that that doesn't happen again? Have you thought about that?
I was thinking about trying to see if there's some sort of thing like a bus pass or like some type of, I don't know if they help with Ubers or anything like that, to be able to get there so I'm not stuck walking.
I know they can help with a bus pass, but then you're going to have to be mindful of the bus schedule. When we were talking as a team, I think it was Ms. Toledo from the Public Defender's Office said, well, she might have been, you know, there might have been a bus delay. And now I understand better what the situation was. But yes, I believe we can get you a bus pass. You'll just have to be mindful of the schedules because we were trying to figure out which time you might have boarded a bus and so on and so forth. We were all kind of trying to guess at all possible reasonable explanations that you might have gotten jammed up. So transportation, a bus pass is one thought that you have. What else is there that you think you can adjust to ensure that even with IOP, that you're going to catch these windows appropriately?
I'm not sure what I can do.
Okay. So as far as the IOP ends what, 11:30?
Yes, ma'am.
And the test window ends when?
On Fridays is 12:30.
Okay. So there's an hour for you to get from wherever you sat through IOP over to Horseshoe, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you've done this a number of times. This week, things didn't go very smoothly, but you've been with us now for a little while and you've been getting this done up till now, right?
Yeah. Same like with my current living situation. My ex was driving me.
Okay.
So that's...
Okay. All right. Well, that's an explanation. That helps me to understand why things were different this week from prior weeks. And I accept that. I understand what you're telling me. Well, what I think we need to do is this. We've got a few different things that the team asked me to think about. And I am mindful that, you know, a UA is a really important, it's really at the center of everything we do. I was talking to Ms. Ramsey a few weeks back about a different situation, and the fact that, you know, if you miss a UA, we've got to change our calendar as far as how we're marking your sobriety, because that's an interruption in our ability to verify your sobriety and so forth. So there's that, that's part of the picture. But missing the UA is something that is actually something I take a little bit more seriously. That probably sounds terrible, but it is something that I am greatly concerned that you don't allow to happen a second time. I don't want you to break the bank on Ubers. That's not really where I'm trying to push you. It's more like I was saying to Ms. Lewis a few moments ago, I think it was Ms. Lewis, about, you know, just thinking ahead a little bit, and being preventative and thinking, wait, now this is working well, but I've got to think about the possibility. Might have been Ms. Ramsey, my memory's playing tricks on me. But I was talking to one of you about, well, you know, you won't overdo it, but you do need to just think ahead and anticipate things. You're in IOP. Is there a chance you could get your UA done before you start IOP? Would that be easier?
I'm not sure what time the testing opens up.
Okay, well, that's part of your job to know that.
I have my sheet with me.
Okay, I won't require you to have it off the top of your head, but as long as you've got access to that information pretty easily and you could check that, then that's definitely something that I would encourage you to do. What we're gonna propose is this, Ms. LaBeouf. I've got two different things that I think taken together are an appropriate response. You know, I have, quite frankly, under some circumstances, I have had people report to the jail for missing a drug test. I don't think that that is anything that I need to do here, but I do say that so you have a little context and you understand, hey, look, that's the kind of thing that potentially the judge takes me off the street and addresses that way. I'm comfortable, and the team was pretty comfortable saying, we don't need to have that drastic of a response, but I do need to make sure, again, that we fashion a consequence that helps make sure we don't have this happen again. And so what we're going to propose is two different things. First is going to be that you would do 2 days on what's called the weekend work program. That is sort of structured community service. Are you familiar with that?
No.
It is run by the Sheriff's Department, but it is community service. And Mr. Darrow just came on screen. Mr. Darrow, did you want to chime in?
Yes, Judge. She started a new job that requires her to work on the weekend, and I was wondering if the team would consider doing community service, that she would have more flexibility as to when she could do that. Okay.
And the new job, tell me quickly about that. What are your hours? What's going on with the new job that we need to try to navigate?
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're open from 11. Well, Friday's 11 to 11. And then Saturday and Sunday that I work is from 11 to sometimes 4 or 5 p.m. is what it was last week.
Okay. And this is, I'm trying to remember, did you end up at
Pinchers?
Okay.
So last week was my training, and this week is like me on my own there.
Okay. So all 3 days of the weekend right now, they're having you start around 11 a.m. and work to various end times.
Correct.
Okay. And so, Mr. Darrow, you were proposing that we do something along the lines of community service?
I would think that would work better for her, wouldn't Miss LaBeouf?
It would.
If we could do community service, she would still have to put the time in, but it would allow her the flexibility to not have the issue with work.
Or if there's like any other option about like, I mean, I'm open to options.
Okay. Well, I can do a couple of different things. I can pull the team off into a breakout room if we want to chat for a minute. Or if everybody is comfortable with Mr. Darrow's suggestion, I can run with it. I don't know if you want to throw a note into the chat if you want to request a quick staffing in a breakout room.
The state doesn't have any objection to that based on the fact that it's our first sanction.
Okay. All right. Well, that saves me trying to figure out the breakout rooms then, Ms. Farrell. So thank you. I appreciate that. I think what we would do then, Ms. LaBeouf, give me just 1 second here. So what I would propose that we do then, and I've got the order from Ms. Krause, so I'll make this adjustment and get the order filed. But instead of doing a weekend work sanction, I was saying we would do 2 days of that. I believe it's about an 8-hour day each day, and it would have taken you into your work schedule. So I'll instead do 16 hours of community service that then you can structure around your work schedule. You can also try to do that in an area that maybe is easy for you to get to. Maybe there's a local nonprofit or a nearby park or something where you would be able to volunteer without having to drop 20 bucks on an Uber. I'll take out the reference to weekend work program and instead have you do 16 hours of community service. I would require you to turn that in. Hang on 1 second, let me get a calendar in front of me. Would require you to turn that in a week from Monday. So it looks like that's February 1 to probation. And you will, you'll need to get with probation in the next day or two. Just request a sheet from them that you can use to keep track of your hours, and also verify with them as soon as you can where you want to work the community service, so that you're sure up front that it's a location that probation is going to accept, and so on and so forth. I know there's a bunch of different aspects within St. Matthew's House that can use volunteers, but within the pandemic, I've long since lost track of who's got a big hassle to put you through before you can start, and who's relatively easy to connect with and just go put your time in. So talk to probation as soon as you can to get the sheet and get the location figured out. And then you can organize however you want to do the 16 hours. Maybe you do 4 4-hour shifts spread out on days where you're not working and you're not in IOP. Of course, your obligation to drug court, to all your regular drug court stuff, comes first. Every now and then I have somebody say, well, I can't go to group because I got to do community service. No. You want to make sure that you schedule it accordingly. So the sooner you kind of figure it out, the less stressful it'll be. And if you're able to connect with a nonprofit, a charity that means something to you, that's perfectly fine. I know sometimes you've got a cat that walks around behind you. There's a no-kill cat shelter that can always use helpers. And they're right over, I don't know if they've moved, but they were at Santa Barbara and Golden Gate Parkway, sort of behind the CVS there. So not too far out of the way. So you might consider that. And I'm perfectly fine for it to be something that you care about. Okay. So
Yes,
that'll be one aspect, would be the 16 hours community service due Monday, February 1st to probation. That way probation can look at that and report to me the following day that you're in compliance. And then the other side of the equation is this: we're going to have you write a paper, okay? And I'll make sure that your case manager's got a copy of this if you need any of these details after today. We're going to have you write a 500-page paper.
500 pages?
I'm sorry, did I do that? I had pages and I had words and I blurred them together.
Like, I don't even know if I know that many words.
You'll get your PhD at the end. Don't worry. No. 500 words. I'm so sorry. 500 word
Okay.
paper. That I would like you to turn in this coming Monday to David Lawrence with your regular paperwork. So paper this Monday, community service by the following Monday. The paper, I want you to talk about a few different things. Time management and kind of getting yourself organized.
Hold on, can I get a pen and a paper to write this down?
Sure. Okay, good. So we'll go from the top 16 hours of community service, turn that in Monday, February 1st to your probation officer. And as soon as possible this week, get with your probation officer to get the sheet, the log sheet, and to verify where you're going to do the work.
Okay.
And then the second part is a 500 word paper due this coming Monday, which is the 25th. Turn it in with your regular drug court paperwork to David Lawrence.
Okay.
And I'll give you a few topics that I'd like for you to try to incorporate. One of them, and you're doing this anyway for us, look back through your handbook and familiarize yourself again with what your obligations are in drug court. And I want you to write up a plan for how you plan to be able consistently to manage those obligations. And I'm looking for a detailed plan. So, well, I'm going to attend IOP from this location because then I can easily catch a bus that'll get me to David Lawrence before the cutoff, whatever the plan is. But I'm looking for that type of detail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Now,
So-
I don't know if I'm able to, I'll have to get with Nikki after this, if I'm like able to somehow get to maybe the David Lawrence Center before my IOP starts and just do it from my laptop.
That may be. So you can certainly get with your case manager. We want you to do some problem solving here. So you've got a bit of a challenge. You've got to get from A to B to C and you don't have transportation. Your case manager can absolutely be a resource, but it's your assignment, not hers. So work with her, but don't just hand her the problem and say, solve it. I want you to work on some solutions for this, and then you're going to write it up. But yes, you can absolutely consult your case manager for some help to think through some ideas here. And so I want you to work on a plan for how you're going to manage those drug court obligations. And in general, why we're so focused on pushing you to organize and manage these details, why that's important for recovery. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And I will say this, Ms. LaBeouf, you and I have talked, I think you mentioned something the last one or two times that we spoke where you just said, I don't feel like my head is 100% yet.
Yeah, it's still not.
So, and I understand that. And I think probably that's part of what is going on is, when you're in active addiction, there is no problem solving except solving the problem of how to get high, right? How to get the fix. That is the only problem that ever gets solved. All other problems get ignored. And we get it, but we're gonna keep trying to push you toward working on solutions, working on organization, working on managing these things. Likewise, we understand that mood swings and a short fuse can be part of the deal, but we're going to push you to try to, engage with some coping skills, which might be as simple as, slowing yourself down, taking a deep breath, counting to 10, etc. So that's sort of what I want you to be exploring here as you work on that paper, okay? And then you'll circle back with Brooke and express your thoughts about, attitude and how you think you can improve that. And I know that'll go a long way as well. All right. And I think that will address things. Like I said, I think David Lawrence Center is going to restart their calendar as far as your documented sobriety. And I can pretty well promise you.
Wait, what's that mean?
That means you've got to have a certain amount of documented sobriety in order to progress through our program. That's all in your handbook. And so if you miss a drug test, now we've had a break in our documentation. So you've got to, it is something that we take very